Today's 1989Batman.com merchandise spotlight is on the Hot Toys DX14 Joker Mime version 1/6 scale collectible figure. Alright, so there's a lot of stuff to cover here just on the opening sequence. We'll start with the box, and this is continuing the DX style boxes, which are big, thick, heavy. They've got like an opening panel with a magnetized kind of swing out feature that we'll look at in 1 second. It is different quite a bit from the first 1989 Batman.com releases, or 1989 Batman.com, I'm saying the website, the first 1989 releases, in that it doesn't stay that same style, which were like a black covering that had an image of the figure at the front, and then like a coloring up top. This one is very much tuned in to the mime look of Joker in the film. We've got the black plaid pattern, the black and white polka dot pattern, the large white flower, and then we've got white down here and a black here that kind of looks like it's sort of an Art Deco version of his outfit. I really, really like it, and I think it's a sharp, sharp design for the packaging. The top panel, I'm hoping you can see it, is also in plaid, like a black and white plaid, mimicking the character's outfit. And then we've got this panel here that is the magnetic panel that swings out. Sorry if we're going to kind of run out of room here. You're kind of seeing it. Oh, scoot over just a little bit. There we go. Oh, don't lose my light panels. Alright, and so this inside panel says the "Hello, Vinny, it's your Uncle Bingo. Time to pay the check" line, with a cool sort of watercolory type painting of a pin kind of stabbing down, and then a blood stain. And then we've got the Batman 1989 logo and the Joker Mime version written there. I also like how the logos are in black and white this time, instead of being like the gold coloring. The one in the front is black and white, the one inside is black and white. I think it's a neat little touch. This front panel features the usual DX sort of insert card piece, and in this case it is, get this a little bit more light here, this white flower. It's sort of a raised patterning on here that he wore on his lapel. You can see it says the Joker on the front and on the back in black and white. It's a neat little card. I really don't understand the point of these that well, but whatever floats your boat, I guess. So that front panel comes off, and beneath it is the figure in the first section with this overlay that pulls off. And inside is Joker. Let's see if we can kind of... Oh, it's going to be way too dark, I think, for you to see. But that first panel has Joker inside. Beneath that first panel is the stairs and the extra hands, the pins. You'll notice I have one hand not in there, and that's because I've already taken him out once. So one hand has a plug already plugged into it. We've got the stairs, the rod, the clip, 3 of the feathers, and the flower, the extra hands. And beneath this panel... Ooh, come on now. Ooh, we got a live in here. Is the backdrop pieces for Gotham City Hall. And we're going to assemble all those in a second here. There's that extra hand. And we'll take a look at all of them. So first of all, let's take a look at Joker, and then we'll look at the fold-out scene here. So let's start with Joker out of the package here. We've got him standing on the original Joker DX08 base. He doesn't come with a standard base, he only comes with the steps base. And since it's got like that clip thing going on, I just felt it was easier to just put him on this base for the review. Let's take a look at all the hands first. He's got a pair of relaxed hands in his arms right now. He also comes with sort of this pinching hand, and that's good for both the pin accessory and for his hat, when you want to take off his hat and sort of hold it. And he's got a finger up, kind of #1 type of hand, and then he's got a set of these open hands, much like the DX08 came with. So those are all the extra hands, and he does come with one extra set of hand pegs I highly recommend you throw those into the hands you're going to use the most, so that way they're easy to switch out. Personally, I would put it into the pointing and maybe the pinching hand. I don't really have too much use for these crazy wide open hands. As far as other accessories go, like I said before, he only has this little flower and then 3 of his death pins, I'll call them. They are each the same sculpt, if I'm not mistaken. There's not much else you could really give him accessory-wise from the scenes he's in, so I understand why he's somewhat light on accessories. The instructions say to put this flower into the pocket here, but if I'm not mistaken, it was actually on his lapel in the film, so that's where I'm going to put mine. And it attaches really easily with just this little metal clip in the back. Let's put all that stuff over to the side. The other accessory he includes, obviously, is the top hat. And there is actually a little arrow inside the top hat pointing to the front of the hat to make it easier for you to figure out which side it's supposed to go on. Other than that, we've got the outfit itself, which I guess you can call an accessory, even though it's always on him. And that consists of the black sort of overcoat, trench coat, tailcoat, whatever you want to call it, a polka dot white vest, the plaid pattern pants, his really nicely painted and detailed boots, this black polka dot tie, and that's about it. He's also got that same sort of white underbody stocking thing on his arms. I don't know how far across the whole body that goes. I haven't taken him all the way out. And it feels like he might have the padded suit body thing like the DX08 had. I'm going to take a look at him all the way around here. Oh, I got a little hair on you, Joker. Let's get that off of there. Hey, come. You know what? Got it. Aren't you proud of me? The jacket is really nicely detailed. It's got these nice seam lines in the back and 2 little buttons here and there. He's got little sleeve buttons on the sides. It's a really nice coat. It's got these 3 buttons here and 3 matching buttons on the other side. It just is a really sharp looking tailoring for this figure. Much like the other Hot Toys releases, and especially like the DX08, the tailoring is just really nice on the figure. I think it looks really sharp. The hat fits on there well and doesn't want to feel like it's falling off or anything. The head sculpt is amazing. I just want to see if I can bring it in a little bit closer here. Oh, let's bring it. I don't want to lose the light. You know what we'll do? We'll stick him back on there. Stay there. We'll try and get a little closer in the head so you can go look at the purrs. Usually with these, I don't go too detailed. I save that for the actual still pictures, which you can find at 1989batman.com, and they'll be linked in the info section if you're watching this on YouTube. But let's just get a little bit closer, and that way I can also show you the purrs on him. Scoot you forward just a little bit, Jack. Alright, so the head is just really insanely detailed. I mean, I loved the DX08, but I think that the detailing in this is maybe just a bit better than the DX08s. I kind of wish that I had an extra head just to get it repainted to be a more traditional Joker look, just because I think it's a really, really sharp face sculpt. The lines and the detailing, it's really crazy when you see it up close. The purrs panel in the back, oh, let's pop this off. It's a little different, if I remember right. I got a DX08 back here. Than the DX08, yeah. This has like this weird sort of padding spot in the bottom, which I guess is covering a bit of metal that is then magnetized to the back, but it also has this like plasticky peg along the top, and it makes for not such a good fit. See, if you look at the old DX08 here, and I'm sorry if this is a little dark, it's got magnetic panels in the top and the bottom. This one, you have to plug in the peg thing along the top, and then it magnetizes at the bottom. And I don't think the fit is quite as nice as the other one was. I can still see a bit of a seam line, whereas the seam line really gets lost back on the old DX08. Let's put that back over there. Other than that, that's a very minor complaint. I think it's a really solid figure overall. We're going to kind of back up and pull back here, and I'm going to show you him and the DX08 side by side. I think it's far enough back. Is that good? Maybe just a little bit down. There we go. So to do that, I'm going to have to take him off of this turntable thing here. Oop. Put him right there. And here we've got, oop, I dropped it. Here we've got DX08. Now, their height really isn't that different. Maybe I'll try and get him off without knocking them both down. Bear with me for a second here. Put that right there. Alright, so DX08, Jack Nicholson Joker, next to the DX14 Mime Joker. Zoom in on you guys just a little bit. Drop it down. It's really kind of amazing when you see them side by side how similar the outfits really are, other than color. You've got the same kind of plaid pattern pants, but in black and white and purple and green there. He's got spats on his shoes here, and he has sort of a more subdued look to his shoes here. Kind of the same sort of gloves, the same kind of waistcoat, the tailcoat. Overall, it's a pretty similar outfit, just a different color. I don't know for sure. Yeah, I don't think there's a wire in this coat this time. Well, I guess the other one didn't have it either. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that does have a wire. I don't think there's a wire in this one. Doesn't feel like it. For kind of the posing type of thing on the tailcoat, I don't think it's there. Overall, it's a very nice complemented piece to the DX08, showing the different kind of stages of the Joker, and I would love to see more of this. We're going to talk about that more in the review, but as you can see side by side, they're very, very different figures. The paint on the head is actually a little bit different too. This looks more like a white makeup, and this looks like more like his skin. I guess one's more movie accurate, and one's more of an idealized look to it. Okay, so I think that covers everything with the figure. Now we'll take a look at the base. Okay, so here we have the backdrop piece. I haven't put the base on here yet. I just want to kind of show you this piece first. This thing is huge. I actually had a little bit of trouble getting it into focus in the camera without showing you my entire picture table setup. It comes in 3 pieces. It's got this top panel, which is from like the stairs up, and then it's got a back panel that's like magnetic, that magnetizes in 3 spots along the back of this, and it's got this lower panel, which is like this, supposed to represent the stairs, that is in, it's folded out, and then it attaches to the magnetic piece with that back magnetic panel. It's pretty easy to set it all up, but it's huge. I have a feeling it's not going to fit in my DTOLF, which kind of bums me out. And then in front of that, I guess, you know what you probably could do? You could probably just take the Gotham City panel, the top panel by itself, and put it behind it, and then you wouldn't have that issue with it not fitting. And then the whole thing just kind of, I think, sits behind the base like this. At least it's supposed to. I guess that's the gist of it. If I find the instructions here, I'll be sure that I'm right. But I'm pretty sure that is how it's supposed to fit. Yeah, it just kind of sits in front of it. It's kind of an odd look, I gotta say. It's weird how the steps are kind of back here and just kind of sit back there. That just seems kind of odd to me. I like the steps thing here. The steps are really nice. It's a big solid piece. Well, it's hollow, but it's all one piece, this base is. And the steps are nicely painted and detailed. It's got a couple of grates up here. It's got a pole that inserts in, and when you insert that pole down into the base, make sure that you hit not through only this hole, but there's actually a recess inside this base that you have to get into to make sure that it's secured and is providing support for your figure. And then you just sit the whole thing in front of the base like that. Let me grab Joker here. Now, I am not a fan of these clip bases. I think they're kind of... they're super lame. I would much rather have a regular base for this. As you can see, it's pretty high up too. I don't have any clue how that's going to fit in my case. I really, really don't like these clip bases. Let's see if I can... It was also super, super loose when I put mine through. Usually I have to unscrew them to get them through. This one, it just went right in, and I actually had to actually screw it to make it tight. There we go. Oh, get on there. There's Jack. I don't know about this whole base. I think it kind of feels like they were just looking at something to make this seem like it was worth more than money. I mean, it's neat looking. I think it's kind of pixelated, and the image quality isn't the best. I understand that they're probably working from the imagery that they've got, and it's a movie that's almost 25 years old. So maybe finding a really good, clean shot of Gotham City Hall was tough. But it definitely looks pixelated, and it's definitely not to scaled with the figure. He's way big compared to those doors. And those doors are very, very large. These statues are very, very large. So the whole perspective thing doesn't really work when he's standing at the top of these stairs and this backdrop is sitting like that. I think they could have planned it out maybe just a little bit better than what they did. But if you chuck the whole base, I mean, if you get rid of all that, all this backdrop stuff, and just have him on the stairs, it actually makes for a really cool look without it. I may display mine without that backdrop. That I think is actually pretty sweet looking. Alright, so I think that covers everything that we want to cover with the close-up looks. Let's take it over to the couch, and Blaze and I will give you more thoughts on the Hot Toys Mime Joker.
We have witnesses. Grisham's signature is perfectly legitimate.
It is legitimate. I saw it. I was there. I saw it all. He reached up with his dead hand and signed it in his own blood. And he did it with this pen.
Hey everybody, welcome to another 1989 Batman.com Merchandise Spotlight Toy Talk review. As you can see by that lengthy opening sequence, we are looking at the Hot Toys Joker DX14 Mime version 1/6 scale figure. Right? Mm-hmm. This is our fourth? Whoa.
No.
Yeah, you're right.
There was
Batman, Joker, the Batmobile.
Superman.
No, for Batman 1989 Batman.com.
Oh.
Yeah. This is our fourth of the 89 Batman Hot Toys videos. Alright, so you've already seen a lot of this stuff in the opening sequence, but now we're going to kind of give our thoughts on the different things. This has got dust on it already. Here's the box, as you saw in the opening sequence. It's got this magnetic clasp thing along the side and opens up. A lot of the stuff Blaze is now seeing for the first time. He hasn't really got a chance to check this out yet. So this is the DX box. As you can see, they've done this like nice sort of reminiscent design of the outfit.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So you know how they put a quote in the last one?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, you don't know it yet?
No,
Yeah.
is there a quote in this one?
There's a
Can
quote.
I try guessing it real quick?
Yes.
Therefore, the pin is mightier than the sword.
No. But that was, you were very, very close. I mean, well, he doesn't say that many lines in the Mime outfit. But that would have been a cool one, too. That's a pretty common quote. Mm-hmm. The pin is truly mightier than the sword. So, I think they wanted something a little more unique. Because that's actually a pre-existing quote. Mm-hmm. They wanted, I guess, something he would have done. But first, let's just talk about this box. What do you think about this box design?
I think that they're like gonna be.
I think it's awesome, man. I think it's they really got artistic with this. Mm-hmm. It's simplistic, but at the same time, it's like
different. Really
different. Yeah, and it's just really well done. I love how they just incorporated all the elements of the outfit with the plaids and the polka dots and all the different.
They did great.
Yeah, different designs all into one.
Hot Toys always does great with their boxes.
They do, but I think, I look back at the DX08 and 09 boxes, and they're a little on the plain side.
Yeah, their normal Hot Toy boxes are really cool.
Yeah, I mean, they do really nice box work, but I felt that the DX08 and 09, even though they're very nice, they're a little tiny bit on the plain side. Because
the Superman box was awesome.
The Superman box was insane.
Yeah.
But they had those images of the figures on the front, and they were kind of like, they almost melded into the black of the packaging. This, I think, just really stands out. The quote on the inside is actually, "Hello, Vinny, it's your Uncle Bingo. Time to pay the check."
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Hello, Vinny. It's your Uncle Bingo. Time to pay the check.
And they've got this really cool artwork of a feather and then the blood and stuff. It's just really neat. And I was talking about this in the opening sequence, but I like how they did black and white on the symbols.
Yeah.
I think that's a really cool touch.
Man, okay, now I remember that quote. Those are really the only two quotes he did.
He said, it is legitimate. I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it all. That kind of thing. The card around the card thing insert, whatever you want to call it this time around. Your eyes okay, Mike?
Yeah.
Is just a card of the flower that he's got on his lapel, and it's just it's white with black polka dots on the back with the Joker, and then white on a black background with white polka dots. It's kind of a neat. I don't really understand little card insert things, but it's cool as far as insert things go. And that's about it for the packaging. You want to kind of maybe just go sit on the front couch up front. That way it's kind of out of our way. We'll kind of work our way up to the figure, I think.
I'm just gonna.
He's over there. Let's do the backdrop first, and then we'll do the base. The backdrop comes in 3 pieces. It's magnetic, so you've got this back panel here, which is the Gotham City Hall. And I said a lot about this when I was doing the opening video thing. You weren't down here for that, but I kind of talked about the quality on it and things like that. But I wanted to show you how it works as I drop a ton of pieces of it. It's got these magnetic pieces. The back section has 3 little spots, and then this section that Blaze is holding here that I've now taken from him is the bottom section. So it all goes together like that, and so now it's all one solid piece.
That looks nice.
It's pretty cool. The quality on it is not the best. Like the quality isn't the best.
Yeah.
It is neat. The scale is off from the actual figure because these doors were huge in the movie. I mean, on the set they were huge. So
yeah.
This being behind him, it kind of looks a little strange. It also, when it's all assembled like this, I tried it last night, it doesn't fit in a detolf when it's all together like that. And I think a lot of us use detolfs to display. So what I did is, I just moved this panel down some. And if you move it down and cover up the stairs, since it's out of scale anyway...
And you have the stairs right here.
Yeah, exactly. So the stair piece isn't that... Oh, yeah, you can talk about it. Since the stair piece is already there, like Blaze said, it doesn't really matter that you're covering up the stairs. And it will fit into a detolf like that. So if you want to display this backdrop with it, you may want to do that if you're displaying this in a detolf, which I'd say a majority of us are using detolfs at this point.
Yeah.
What do you think about the backdrop?
I think it's cool.
It's cool. You know, you can never complain about something that's included.
Yeah.
But the price on this was pretty high. I'll have to look it up. I can't remember what it was. It's a pretty expensive figure since it's a DX, and it doesn't come with a ton of stuff. So including a backdrop, I think, was kind of one of their ways to make up for the cost. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. You have to bear with me. I didn't remember how much this was now.
Right.
I threw some of my rewards points at it to bring down the price some. So that helped a little bit.
Yeah.
But it still is a pricey piece. You want to put that down with that box while I'm looking this up? Okay. I'm going to find it. Nope, that's not what I want. I'm really sorry about this. I should have prepared better. Look how unprepared I am. And now I'm like all over the site. I don't know what computers are.
We should make Hot Toys from the comics, like famous comics.
They should. It would be cool if they got the comic license. You want to go ahead and hold up that base while I'm doing this. This is the Sideshow mobile site is like, you hit one thing and it's just jumping all over the place. Are your eyes okay?
Yeah.
Okay. It just starts jumping everywhere. All right, let me...
Do you have it?
I got it.
Okay.
All right, so this is the actual base piece that comes with. A lot of times DXs come with these more intricate bases, whereas the MMSs come with the standard bases. Mm-hmm. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, I really like the standard base. And I think that DXs, if they're going to come with this kind of base, they should also include the regular base too.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go to Evil Face and get a stand decal made up so I can get a standard base for him.
Logo that was inside the box, like the pin with...
That would be cool.
Yeah.
He was $230. So he's an expensive piece for what you get, and so including that backdrop I think was one of their ways of making up for that cost. But the backdrop isn't the best, so it really doesn't help that much to feel like the value is there because of it.
It's extra, so...
Yeah, you know, I would want the Mime Joker regardless, so anything they throw in is just extras. But I wish it was just a little bit better.
You'd buy anything with 1989 Batman.
This is true.
Except maybe a Batwing, because you wouldn't have anywhere to put that.
I would have to figure out a place to put it. Alright, so this base, it's obviously the steps for City Hall. It's got a nice paint on it. It's got these 2 grates up here, which are kind of nice, and they have a nice sort of almost a rusty type of paint wash on them. Right. It's got the metal plate up front, which is the Joker Mime version DX, and it's got the clear rod thing. This clear rod and clip is usually used on characters that are like flying, it seems like.
That Superman.
Yeah,
and
but
it's not even sturdy.
It's pretty sturdy on this. You have to get through the first hole and then get it into another recess there, which if you don't get in that one, it's wobbling all over the place. Right. But you have to hit both of them and get it in there. The clip on mine was really loose. I had to tighten it when I put it on. Are you sure your eyes are okay, bud? Okay. The clip actually was kind of loose, and I had to tighten it as I put it on. I'm just not a fan of this kind of stand. Like, I don't really like the clip thing. I much prefer a figure that just kind of sits on a stand. Mm-hmm. So I wish it would have came with 2 stands. I'm not complaining about this one. I think it's really nice, and this makes more sense on this than the wired stand would make sense So I understand why they put this kind of stand in here. But again, I wish it came with two stands. That's all that stuff. Let's move on to the accessories, and then we'll get to the figure. There's very little accessories, as we saw in the opening sequence. So there's not a lot to talk about, and a lot of it's extra. We've got the extra 4 hands, 2 of them open, a right hand that's going like this, and a right hand that's kind of pinching, which makes sense for his pin, and to hold his hat.
Yeah.
Those 2 things. So let's put those extra hands on the side.
Call this hat.
Yeah, I definitely will when I do the pictures. I'll definitely have him holding the hat. He comes with a little flower on a little hook that you're supposed to put on his lapel. It actually says in the instructions to put it in his pocket, but I'm pretty sure in the movie it's on his lapel and not in his pocket. But either way, you can put it on either spot. You can hang it off the lapel, or you can hang it in the pocket.
Right.
It's a nice little detailed flower, but there's not a lot to it. It's all just white. Then he comes with 3 of his pins, and we all know about a pen, right? We all know what it's mightier than.
The pen is truly mightier than the sword.
The sword.
Yeah, I was going to insert the clip there.
Oh.
I'll still insert it in there.
Okay.
So he comes with 3 of those, and I really don't know why they included 3 of those, other than the fact that maybe if you lose one, they wanted you to have a couple extras, I guess.
They should have made one with blood on it.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
They should have made one with blood on it. That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll take one of my extras and put a little blood on it. That's smart, Blaze. Good job. And then his top hat, which has, as I said in the opening sequence, a little arrow inside. If in case you get this and you don't know which way is which, it's got a little arrow pointing to the front, so that way you know which way to put it on your Mime Joker. And then it just sits on his head. Alright, so we finally moved up to Mime Joker. Now let's talk a little bit about Mime Joker first, and then we'll talk about the actual figure of Mime Joker.
Okay.
Why did those lights blink?
Oh no.
That was weird. When Hot Toys first announced that they were doing Jack Nicholson Joker, they had a little picture thing where they showed all the different kind of incarnations of Joker in the film. Now, Mime Joker is a very unique look amongst all of them. I mean, there's some where it's just like a shirt change or something like that. He has sort of, I think I consider it like 4 distinct looks in the film, and that's when he's just regular Jack Napier.
Right.
I'm sorry, maybe 5. The mob scene where he's fully painted in flesh tone.
Yeah.
The art museum scene where it's running down his face. The standard Joker, and that could be with the orange shirt or the green shirt or whatever, and then Mime Joker. I think Mime Joker is a pretty distinct look from all of those. It's a very short look in the film, but I think it's a really memorable scene. So I understand why they did Mime Joker as a second release.
And then someone made like, am I allowed to say it?
The art museum repaint? Yeah, somebody, Rory Wan on the forums, and I think Stephen Maurice, I think both of those guys are doing art museum repaints. I don't think Steven's doing them anymore, but a couple of guys are doing those on their own. I think that eventually Hot Toys will probably release that one too, just because they've got the Jack Nicholson likeness, they paid for it, so
Big time.
they might as well use it. Mime Joker, I think, is a great idea for a second release because it kind of breaks up the looks of regular Joker a little more, and it's a very memorable scene. It's a very different look. The tailoring on the outfit is very similar to the first release, so they might have saved a little time and expense there between making the 2 different outfits.
The hair's a little different.
The head sculpt's totally different.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. One's raising his eyebrows and has his mouth closed, and the other one's got his mouth open.
I like the one with the mouth open.
I do too.
But that makes sense for that scene, though.
Yeah, exactly. It has a good look for the Mime look and with those little tiny lips and all that stuff. A lot of people are complaining that they did Mime Joker. They're like, oh, well, this is kind of a throwaway scene. Why are you making this? It doesn't make much sense. But how many Iron Mans has Hot Toys made?
They made one that was never in the movie, that secret mission, or...
They've made tons of Iron Mans that you glimpse for like 2 seconds. This was an actual like full-on scene where he's talking in this outfit, and it's like a disguise for Joker.
Right.
It's like a memorable scene from this film. It totally makes sense that they did this.
Exactly.
They made, for the Heath Ledger Joker, they made him in his like policeman outfit, and that's like 30 seconds in the film. And I don't think he talks or anything like that. And it's not really I don't think, memorable scene where he's dressed up as a policeman.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, he dresses up like a policeman. So this makes perfect sense to me. I don't really know what more you would want. I mean, they make stuff from obscure scenes all the time, and to me, this isn't that obscure.
Yeah, especially like Iron Man, Secret
missions and stuff like that. Well, those are sometimes exclusives, but I'm even talking about like regular releases. They're making Iron Mans that are just like throwaway scenes.
Really?
Yeah, they made tons of armors for Iron Man 3. But I digress.
Yeah.
This figure itself, I think, is really well done. I think the sculpt is fantastic. I think that the tailoring is really good. The tailoring is pretty much the same as the first time around, like I said, except in kind of different colors. It's slightly different here and there, but for the most part, the outfits are remarkably similar, just in different colors. I think the tie is better handled on the Mime version than it was on the original release. I think they did a better job on that. And I think, actually, I prefer the way the head is painted on the Mime Joker. I kind of mentioned this.
Yeah.
Let me finish what I'm saying, and then you can say what you're going to say. I mentioned this when I was talking about it in the opening sequence. I feel like this one, the Mime Joker, feels a little more like it's actually like white paint on a face. You can actually see a little bits of skin tone coming out around the ears and things like that. Whereas the first one really kind of looks like it's molded in white, like it's white flesh. And although that's more accurate to Joker, sit back, bud. Although that's more accurate to Joker, I think it's more accurate to the film that it looks more like paint. Do you see what I'm saying? Like the way it kind of catches the light and almost looks like pearlized on the Mime Joker.
Does his head come off?
It does, and we'll talk about that panel in a second here. And I don't know, I just think maybe the likeness to Jack is a little bit stronger on the Mime than it was on the DX09. Blaze is right in that I like the opening smile, and I think it's a more traditional look for Joker to have his teeth showing, but this is a really amazing head sculpt. Yeah, exactly, he's a mime, so
he can't talk.
He's not going to talk, he's not going to have his mouth open and everything all the time. It's a really good point. Yeah. I really like the scene of Mime Joker, not to interject this too much, but it just kind of plays into how kind of short-wired he is and how crazy he is.
I like how they sort of like laid it out when it was like Bruce Wayne in the alley, and then he saw like the cars coming over and stuff.
And all the mime extras kind of showing up bit by bit, and they weren't doing a very good job of being mimes because they're not obviously really mimes. I think it's a really good scene, and the way he turns around on the reveal is just perfect. I think it's just a really cool Jack scene. I love the Mime scene. Right. All right, so Blaze was asking about the panel. The panel does pop off, and he has the purrs again. And the purrs on the Jack Nicholson Jokers is fantastic. Yeah. I think you get so much expression with the way Jack's eyebrows and his smile is, that those eyes moving around can really play up the craziness. And the eyes are so well painted, just like the first time around.
I noticed this in our last Joker video, that the panel thing on this is bigger than the Batman one.
The panel is bigger, yeah. They actually did the panel a little different this time around, and I mentioned this in the opening sequence, but it's not fully magnetic this time. It's got this plastic peg.
Oh, wow.
And I don't really like it that much.
Yeah.
It doesn't sit up as well, I think, as the first Joker did.
The stick inside is bigger than the Batman one, too.
Yeah.
Is that what you're... Yeah.
No, it's more that the hair doesn't match up quite as well. Like I think it recesses better on that than that. I think the line is a little more hidden. It doesn't quite hit just right. And I don't know why they switched to that plastic peg, but they did.
Hopefully they don't keep doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible. I think, and especially when you're looking at it from the front,
you can't even tell.
You can't even tell it's there. Man, I don't know. I think I really do think I prefer this head sculpt. There's a guy on the Sideshow Freaks forum, Coca Lowboy, I think I don't know if that's the way you say his username or not. A lot of times you read these usernames, but you can't really say them.
Right.
But he repainted his. He got an extra head sculpt and repainted it. The way the Mime outfit, or Mime look works, is he's painted over his regular eyebrows in white, and then penciled on new eyebrows that are even higher, and then he's obviously put white makeup over his lips, and put a little red lip thing up front. So he repainted his. He painted on the actual eyebrows, he painted over the white, and painted on the actual lips, and it made it into like a standard Joker head, with just his mouth shut. It looks so good. And it has me tempted to go and get another head sculpt and do it myself.
You are?
I'm thinking about it, just to have another Joker head, and this is such a strong Jack likeness that I might do it.
Yeah.
It's just really good. So, does that about cover everything on Mime Joker, you think? Is there anything you want to throw in on it?
Nope.
What do you think about it overall?
It's really cool.
I think it's really cool, too.
I've been talking about getting Batman and Hot Toys, but I always think of it... Birthdays and Christmas always come a little bit late.
Yeah,
Plus
well...
they're super expensive.
They are super expensive, and you're kind of behind in the game because you need a Batman.
Hey, Batman Returns, if they ever do that.
Hopefully they'll get around to doing Batman Returns.
Although, if I ever did get Batman Returns, I just try to get the shoes from the other Batman, like the boots, and try to replace those out. Since
You could part it out and make your Ultimate Batman suit.
Yeah, since
The shoes are different.
Yeah, the shoes weren't as good as in Batman.
The gloves are a little bit different too.
Yeah.
You could make your Ultimate Batman suit, and people do part out stuff on eBay. You can find like gloves and boots and stuff like that.
That's if they ever make a Batman Returns Batman, though.
Yeah, if they ever get around to it. But I mean, this showed that they're not done with 89 license. It was a real big surprise when this was shown. Like, whoa, cool! They're doing Mime Joker, so they're not done with Burton's Batman after all. So I'm hoping that this sells well enough that it does keep things going.
Yeah.
Overall, great piece. Not like a necessary piece like the DX08 Joker was.
Right.
I think you really need to have that Joker if you're going to have a Joker. This one's really cool as a bonus piece to your 89 collection, but you really need the traditional purple suit Joker before you move on to a Mime Joker.
Mm-hmm.
And the price is a little prohibitive too. At $230, you're not getting a ton of stuff. Of course, that's a lot has to do with that, with the Jack Nicholson likeness.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
You know how they do like re-releases some where they change it slightly, like they did with Ironmonger?
Like a 2.0 and stuff like that? Yeah.
Ironmonger. Well,
They only did one Ironmonger.
I thought they did two.
You're talking about Iron Man Mark 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll ever do that with the Batman?
You know, I don't know. I think it was that Iron Man Mark 1 came out a long time ago, and they saw the price going up, and it was an earlier release, so they could go back and fix a few things. I think that the DX09 Batman is pretty perfect the way it is. So I don't know how likely it is that they'll do that. They may end up doing a battle damage one. I could see them doing that, like from the end scene, because the battle damage head they did for him wasn't enough, I don't think. But we're moving on to another thing. If they do, you should 100% put that on like a Christmas list or something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the one on there I was talking to you about, but you said that they only made,
It's impossible. It's too pricey. So we'll see how it goes. But there it is. All right. So we're gonna talk to you guys later, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yep.